In 2014, I helped the people in the basement come up with a new design for a Women of Flight exhibit. I put 8 aviators in the case that I thought accurately portrayed the spectrum of pilots' experiences. We start with biplanes, we end with the space shuttle. After Bessie Coleman, America's first pilot of color, we have Fran Barra, a close friend of the museum's. She has a world record on display here in the museum for taking a very small light plane up to the incredible altitude of 49,000 feet. I asked her once, is that really as high as the plane could go? And she said, no, she was just too cold. She couldn't go any higher. Right beside her in the case is her actual world record. I tell everyone that this is a life-size portrait. Franny was definitely one of the smallest adult women I've ever met. Beside her is somebody that I think probably most people are familiar with, Amelia Earhart. When we included her in this exhibit, I wrote her sister Muriel, and together with our curator, we convinced them, the family, to send us artifacts for this exhibit. We got this beautiful scarf she's pictured wearing in many of her photographs, and in the case underneath her airplane on the floor, we have a shirt that we actually have a photograph of her on top of the Vega putting engine oil in. I have the 99s. It's a 100-year-old air racing fraternity of female pilots. This is the actual sign that they used when they had their local meetings. I got the light fixed, and the man who fixed the neon light for me, his father built the light originally 45 years earlier. Everyone in this case made significant contributions. Over here we have Sally Ride. Sally Ride is the first LGBTQ astronaut that we know of. Back at the time when she was flying, at that time, America considered that kind of information to be very much off limits and a taboo. She didn't keep herself secret. People understood who and what she was. She was so respected. This is a woman that everyone wanted to just let her live her life. Although she was somebody that at the time, the media would probably have a field day, the professionals that worked with her kept her secret. She's a wonderful woman that actually visited our museum, and her biographer even worked here. As a Naval Air crewman, one small tidbit about her, when she went to space, she wasn't a military pilot. She didn't know what to put on her name tag. So just looking at different designs, she chose the same design that I wear on my flight suit. She wore the wings of a Naval Air crewman when she went to space. I think that little detail is nice. The last person in the case is, in my mind, probably the most important person in the case. This woman is Jackie Cochran. Jackie Cochran started off with a pretty difficult life, and she turned it into exactly what she wanted. By the time this woman passed, she was the top female aviator on the planet, and her skill set means she may well be the top female pilot of all time. She's the only person in U.S. history that had a branch of government, a chunk of government created, and they put her in charge of it. She became the wartime commander of the WASPs, Women's Air Service Pilots. This is a picture of her up here, as she appeared as the most successful air race pilot of the 1930s. She had more victories against men than she had against women. She was a national champion. In the case, I have this wonderful photo that came with her personal effects. The photo shows her leaning against an F-104 starfighter, a Mach 1.5 jet fighter from the Cold War. She's wearing the flight suit in front of you, and also in the picture, she has a helmet, which we have in the basement, and finally, she has the gold stirrups on display that she's wearing in the picture. In aviation, those stirrups mean you intend to ride an ejection seat, and you plan to go very, very fast. That sums this woman up. She's a true woman of flight.